Hello, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying the series. I believe this is episode 13 of the Bad Boss Guide. I just want to let you know I designed this series as a way for viewers that are in professional work environments, maybe in a corporation or a small family business, things like that, and you have a boss that's just being difficult. This is the Bad Boss Guide. I have 45 days of videos coming out every single day. I hope that at least some of this information is helpful to you in some way. I learned much of it on my own, but I've taken a lot of general advice just from the internet and made it into a series, and I hope you've been enjoying the content. If you have, please comment and let me know in some way, and let's get into the videos today. Today is going to be about Bad Boss Guide email. Redirect, don't absorb. The scenario: you just got copied onto another email that has absolutely nothing to do with your job. Your bad boss is doing it again, pulling you into problems that aren't yours to solve. And if you're like most people dealing with a difficult manager, you feel that familiar pressure building. There's an unspoken expectation that you'll be the one to figure it out, use your brain power to fix it, or to at least respond with something helpful. Today, I'm going to teach you one of the most powerful skills for surviving a bad boss, and that's the art of redirecting emails instead of absorbing them. So what's happening, and this is the problem, bad bosses often use email to diffuse their own responsibilities. They copy you on everything, they forward you random requests, or they loop you into conversations where you don't belong. Sometimes they're genuinely confused about who should handle what. Other times they're deliberately offloading work that they don't want to deal with. Either way, if you respond like you own the problem, you've just inherited a new responsibility that never actually was yours. So this is what I'm calling absorption here. If you absorb the email, you absorb the problem, and pretty soon you're drowning in tasks that have nothing to do with your actual job description. So again, this is about setting up those boundaries and saying what you are going to do, and then you're just not going to acknowledge what you're not going to do. You're going to slowly direct those away. And so you don't want to absorb like this is describing. Your real work could begin to suffer, and then maybe you're staying late to handle other issues. And if your bad boss never learns to route things correctly, it's because you've become the safety net. Solution. The solution is redirection, and it's simpler than you think. When an email lands in your inbox that does not belong to you, you redirect it to the right person or place without taking ownership of the outcome. You're acting as a helpful traffic controller, not as someone who's going to solve the problem. How this works in practice: let's say your boss forwards you an email from another department asking about numbers or data that you don't handle. The absorption response would be like, I'll look into this and get back to you. That's you taking ownership. The redirect response is different. You write something like, thanks for looping me in. Blah, blah, blah in finance owns our budget tracking data, and I'm copying her here so that she can help you directly with those numbers. You acknowledge the email. You were helpful by identifying the right person, and then you immediately connected them without inserting yourself as the middleman. You didn't promise follow-up, and you don't offer to check on things later, so you don't absorb the responsibility. More specific scenarios: if the bad boss creates email chaos, like if he or she emails you to handle something that's actually their responsibility, you can redirect it upward. Reply with, I think this decision needs to come from the department lead level. Would you like me to draft some talking points? And then you're redirecting without being insubordinate. What about when your boss copies you in a long email chain that's like outside of your lane? You can respond with, I don't think I have the context needed to meaningfully contribute here. If there's a specific piece you need from me, please let me know. It's kind of a polite way of saying this is not my circus and these aren't my monkeys. That is the way you should be dealing with it and thinking about it. But then, of course, the actual email is polite and professional. The thing about Redirecting is you have to resist the urge to be overly helpful. I have violated this so many times. Like, I've tried to help out a lot of people. It's too much, guys. Just don't do it especially if it's outside of your responsibilities. It may sound counterintuitive, but especially if you pride yourself on being a team player, but there is a difference between being collaborative and being a doormat. Being helpful means connecting the right people and the resources. Being a doormat means doing other people's jobs for them while your own work piles up. In closing, there's a beautiful thing about consistent redirection is that it trains everyone around you, including your bad boss, about what you actually do and what you don't do. The first few times you redirect, it might feel uncomfortable. You might worry that you're being unhelpful or difficult, but over time, people will stop defaulting to you for things that aren't your responsibility. If your bad boss starts learning who actually handles what, you can get a piece of your time and energy back for the work that you were actually hired to do, which is the whole time, guys, you should be doing the work that you are actually hired to do. This guide is meant for people that are pretty good professionals. You are not being rude by redirecting. You are being professional and clear about boundaries. Every time you redirect instead of absorb, you're protecting your capacity to do your actual job well. And in a workplace with a bad boss who won't manage properly, protecting your capacity is not selfishness.